I faked sleeping all night to see if my wife is lying. My wife Emma has been acting weird for weeks, and I mean really weird. She'd been staying up super late saying she was doing work stuff on her laptop, but whenever I'd walk by, she'd quickly close it or switch tabs. She started getting these random phone calls that she'd take outside, and when I asked who it was, she'd just say, work, or my sister, but her voice sounded off. The whole thing was making me paranoid as hell. The breaking point was last Tuesday when I came home early from my shift at the warehouse and found her rushing around the house like she was cleaning up evidence or something. She had this guilty look on her face and kept asking why I was home so early. That night, she told me she was going to bed around 10 p.m. because she had an early meeting, but something felt wrong about it. So I decided to test her. I pretended to fall asleep right after she did, but I kept one eye barely open and controlled my breathing to make it sound like I was out cold. I even did that thing where I'd occasionally twitch or mumble a little to sell it. Around 11:30 p.m., I heard her moving around. She was being super careful, like tiptoeing across our creaky bedroom floor. I kept my breathing steady and watched through my barely open eyelid as she grabbed her phone from the nightstand. She looked at me for what felt like forever to make sure I was really asleep. Then she snuck out to the living room. I waited about 5 minutes before carefully getting up and creeping toward the hallway. Our apartment is small, so I could hear everything from the bedroom doorway if I was quiet enough. She was on the phone with someone, and her voice was completely different. Not the tired, stressed voice she'd been using with me lately, but excited and happy. I couldn't make out everything, but I caught bits like, tomorrow night, and he'll never find out, and I can't wait. My heart was literally pounding so hard I thought she might hear it. I'm thinking the worst, right? Like she's cheating or planning to leave me or something. I snuck back to bed and pretended to sleep until she came back about 20 minutes later. The next day, I was a complete mess at work. My buddy Jake kept asking what was wrong because I looked like I hadn't slept in days. I didn't want to tell him what was happening because honestly, I felt stupid for spying on my own wife, but the whole thing was eating me alive. That evening, Emma said she had to work late again and might not be home until after midnight. She kissed me goodbye, but it felt different, like she was already mentally somewhere else. After she left, I sat on our couch staring at the TV but not really watching anything. Around 9 p.m., I decided to drive by her office building. Her car wasn't there. The parking lot was completely empty except for the security guard's truck. Now I'm really freaking out because she definitely lied about working late. I drove around town for like an hour trying to spot her car, feeling like a complete psycho. I checked the mall, a few restaurants, even drove by her sister's place. Nothing. I went home and just sat there imagining the worst possible scenarios. She came home around 11:45 p.m. looking tired but also kind of happy, like she was trying to hide a smile. She said work was crazy and she was exhausted, but there was this energy about her that didn't match what she was saying. I couldn't take it anymore. The next morning over coffee, I just blurted out, Emma, what's really going on? I know you weren't at work last night. She got this deer in headlights look and started stuttering about how she was definitely at work, and why would I think otherwise? I told her I drove by the office and her car wasn't there. That's when she broke down crying. I'm preparing myself for the worst news of my life, thinking she's about to confess to an affair or ask for a divorce. But then she says, I've been planning your surprise birthday party, you idiot. Turns out she'd been coordinating with all my friends and family for weeks. The late night phone calls were with my mom and sister helping plan everything. The work meeting was actually her going to the party venue to check it out and meet with the caterer. She'd been stressed because she was worried I was getting suspicious and might figure it out. The whole thing was happening that weekend at my buddy Jake's house, which is why she'd been acting so weird when I mentioned hanging out with him. She was terrified he'd accidentally spoil the surprise. I felt like the biggest jackass in the world. Here I was thinking my wife was cheating on me when she was actually planning this huge party with like 30 people coming, including my cousins from out of state. The party was incredible.